that I can guarantee you.
A lot
And
of
I
The
can
times,
only
bet my
difference
life on
between
it.
like one
So-
scroll, right? You could
Right.
just like
Yeah, all it takes is one scroll. That's exactly what it is. That's crazy, right?
you guys are comparing it to
Correct,
casinos, which I see where you're going, but in my personal opinion, I really view it more like an arcade. You know what I mean? You're putting money into like a crane machine. You're putting money into like arcade stuff because you know
See,
that you're not
I
getting
do casinos
monetary
like
value
that.
back,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You're not getting monetary
and the
value.
crane you're using has one arm, right?
There's only one stick, yeah.
It just stirs things around.
Yeah,
You
so
never get anything. Aloha, everybody, from the YouTube channel. Welcome back to another podcast. As you can see, we got a very familiar group, right? Which is good. We get people that are very familiar with each other. Makes for a very good podcast. So welcome back to the podcast. Lucky, Tyler, Want to Love, Thompson, and Wycuz. It's good to have you guys here today. Can't even talk this morning here. But we got some things to talk about. There has been some updates, and there have been some releases into the game. So we got some things to talk about. So hopefully you guys are excited for that. Anything you guys want to say before we get into things?
Twitch died on me yesterday, Brian.
Same. It died as well for me. It died the
But
night before as well.
I left, I shot you a host. I don't know if you got it.
Yeah, I think it did go through and whatnot, but there was some issues with it. So like I was like chilling for like 30 minutes before service went back up. Everybody was off. Like even the top streamers, they were all down. So
I gave up. Yeah.
Yeah. It lasted for about 30 minutes. It was like a big Twitch hiccup. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but it seems fine
It was
now.
really scandalous because I had like two of my best matches when Twitch was lagging. It was like one game with
like
Leebly
you get something
and
amazing
another
happening.
game, another game with El Sherian, another game with Leebly, and
That sucks,
they were
dude.
both during the lag.
That sucks.
Yeah.
The night before, it actually kicked everybody off. Like the whole Twitch server, it kicked everybody off. And when you try to press stream, it said cannot find code or whatnot. Yeah, they were doing like a maintenance as well. So hopefully it's okay now though. That's the first time in like 3 years that I experienced something like that with Twitch.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like when they had a school,
they had a 1 hour maintenance this week, last week, and the week before, but they were like really late at night, so it didn't really affect most people. The only thing with the maintenance was that you couldn't go live. If you were already live, it was fine.
It kicked us off though. If we were live, it kicked us off.
The one yesterday, the servers just crashed.
Yeah, live maintenance is probably usually what they do because like I was saying, they never go down. And they usually never go down.
Yeah, usually when they do maintenance on things like that, it's just you cannot go live. If you're already live, it's fine, but it was just something happened.
All right, waiting for Wycuz here. Are you alright, Wycuz? Everything okay? Pat, you good?
Wycuz should have it all like taken care of.
Oh man, he's traveling all over the world, man. I see flying whales.
Crazy, bro. It's going nuts. Am I
Yeah.
frozen still?
Yeah, you're frozen, but it's okay. You could try to go out and go back in again real quick, and
Close Discord all the way.
yeah, and then come right back in. It's cool. He's got some dank background. I mean, main thing is, your face is on there, and you're talking. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. We'll give him a minute here. But yeah, we got some stuff to get into. A couple different things.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys saw the topics, but should be juicy. Good things to talk about. Good things to bring up as well.
Kind of foreshadowing, but I unsummoned a Savannah already. Yeah, I'll tell you about it later.
Ah, interesting. All right. They'll have to listen in to the podcast today. Yeah, to hear about that. Very, very interesting.
So have you got all three now, or are you missing Masha? Because I know you got Barbara.
No. I unsummoned Savannah. It's just in my head. We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Why? Because I think the background's messing around with your Discord, to be honest, man.
I don't know what's going on.
Because it's okay when you have no background.
Brian, what does QOF stand for?
Quality of life.
The F?
That's L.
QB
not F.
snuff.
There's an F in here. Like, what is it? Is that like
I saw
quality
it
of
too, and I
fails
was
or
like,
something? Like,
Also, I'll just ignore it.
He's gonna edit it.
No, it's QOL. Yeah. I would never make that mistake.
One.
I thought QOF meant like quality of fails, and you were
No.
trying to, like, make a joke out of it or something.
I know what it is. It's quality of fucks, like how much fucks we give about the game. You know what I'm saying?
We give a lot of fucks.
Yeah.
We give a
Quality
lot
of
of those.
fucks. Yeah, it's confirmed. Yeah, this is what it is. But it's okay. I'll just change it to quality of life so everybody can understand a little bit better.
The quality of food.
Quality of food also good. Yeah.
Water horse.
I'm moving.
Yeah, and I think
what's
the
up?
background's probably glitching with you. I don't know why. That's weird.
I'm moving.
Yeah. All right, we are good to go.
We're good.
All right, let's get into topic number one. Topic number one here is new packs released. Now, I know we're kind of hype and we're excited to talk about it, but new packs just got released last night. It was out of the blue, right? Didn't really expect new packs to get released already, but new packs, what are your thoughts on them? And moving on, after we kind of talk about the packs, what are our thoughts about it, we can move on to the second part of how do you think these packs will affect the game? Because that's always a big, thing that, the community talks about, right? Oh, I'm free to play. I spend money. I don't spend money. Like now this makes people, far better than me and stuff like that, right? We can get into some discussions about that as well. But yeah, let's start with the packs and what do you think about them so far? How good are they?
I think if your account, am I too loud?
No. That's me. I accidentally opened up an app. My bad.
I think if your account is missing like a slot 6 with innate, and you're trying to get the pack, chasing it, it's really hard. It is. It actually really is. You're gonna be kind of disappointed.
Yeah, I didn't get the packs yet because I'm free to play, but I saw some of my guildies get it.
Sorry.
And they one had success kinda, and one had like not so success. Like the other guy, he opened all 6 of them, and he got one rune with innate. Like, so it's not guaranteed.
Even
if you
get that one rune with innate, there's a chance it's like flat or like resistant.
Right, you have to get the main stat too. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And you have to get an innate, or literally like, if it gives you a high chance to get that, but if you don't get that, like you literally just got a regular rune pack that was overpriced.
It's horrible if you don't hit it. Yeah,
yeah,
it's really like rolling the dice.
So kind of going off of that for a second there, I always tell people and explain to people when you're playing this game, almost everything that you're going to be spending money on is going to be pretty much chances and opportunities, right? And that being said, now does that change maybe the way that you're going to be discussing the packs? Is this opportunity for the price that people are paying? Is it good value, right? Because people want to know, hey, is this pack good value, and why is it good value?
I think everyone sees the value, and the extra 3 re-apps in that pack is like, oh, value, yeah. That extra 3 re-apps, like, oh, very value.
Yeah, that's the truth. That's like the cherry on top. That's like that's what makes the decision to buy or not buy.
So, if you are looking to buy these packs and you are not super hardcore endgame, you will get a lot of value taking a slot 4 rune always. Because you're probably going to re-app a crit damage rune without innates if you're not like super endgame. Most players who still are endgame still do it anyways, just because it's difficult to get. I mean, we talked about it last time when Ken was on here. We talked about it last time when Andy was on here and stuff like that. We still re-app runes, slot 4 crit damage, will, violent, even if they don't have an innate, because it's just impossibly difficult to get that rune with an innate, right? Mm-hmm. It's really good if you're chasing something. I mean, the potential difference of getting it versus not getting it for the amount spent compared to other packs is like 5 or 6 times more.
Right.
If you really want like a 100% knock out of the ballpark home run, if you like go slot 1, 3, and 5, you always get one good rune. But if you do like that slot 6 or slot 4, there could be a chance you brick 6 times.
Mm-hmm. But isn't that your best opportunity? Okay. Isn't it your best chance to get a slot 4 and 6? Like the craziest probability?
I know. It kind of sucks. This pack is very I'm very conflicted.
It's very lucrative. And after Lucky makes his point, I'll make another point.
I had mixed feelings. When I first saw it, I thought it looked a bit busted initially. Re-rolling a legend rune, having 6 options in one pack seemed quite absurd. Then I watched a few streamers open it, and then realized actually the realistic view of it is that it's not going to completely bust it. And the fact that there's only 6 packs available also makes it kind of balance as well. For me personally, I still feel like slot 6, it's either slot 6 or slot 4. I wouldn't chase a slot 2 speed just because there's a very low chance of actually hitting a slot 2 speed out of all the other options. If you are looking at this pack, I'd probably go 4 and 6. I think it's good value. And if it's once off, I think it's great. I think they've timed it really well with the fact that they've given out pretty much 2 top tier quality runes for us to be able to craft. So there really shouldn't be any complaints from anyone that they've come out with this pack to kind of help those that have been supporting the game. You know what I mean?
Right.
Financially supporting the game. That's the way I view it.
But yeah, I think in general, the slot 6, like if you guys are wondering, you guys are curious, like I'm confused on what to get, I really don't know, and I just want to play it safe. just go with the slot 6, because statistically speaking on your account, like the way that runes drop and the what's valuable and what you're going to end up keeping, you'll notice that a lot more times for the majority of accounts you will be lacking slot 6s. So getting that opportunity for a slot 6 is, I think, really, really nice, and probably the best opportunity you got, trying to get a slot 6 and having it potentially have an innate, right? So
it's tough though. I mean, like you're gonna have to go slot 6 or slot 4 if you're gonna do it. Like what Thompson brings up was a good point. The 135 you can't brick. Like one of them's gonna have an innate. You know what I mean? I mean, if you brick 6 times on 135, you might be more cursed than me. You know, and that's hard. That's hard. You know what I'm saying? So it has to be slot 4, slot 6. It's your one chance to catch a good rune, catch a good re-app target, things like that. So. Like this is one of those packs where I feel like people always ask me, like, I have like a real life friends guild, and we talk and stuff, and they always ask for my opinions and things like that. And they ask about, oh, should we get it? Do you think we should get it? And it's one of those packs where if you don't get it, you shouldn't buy anything else in the game. Kind of like a Transcendence pack. If you don't buy a Transcendence pack, just don't spend on anything. Because granted, it's a 6-year pack. I feel like there should be a little more value in there. But if you do hit what you need, this is going to be the most valuable pack you've ever seen. You know what I mean? So you have to, like I said, if you don't buy this pack, just don't buy anything else. Don't skip this pack and go, oh, you think I should buy this, transmog pack or a devil mod pack? Like, forget it. If you don't buy these special packs they come out with, then just don't spend. It's okay too, But there's enough value in this that it's big enough game changer if you hit, that it's definitely worth the price it's up for.
This scenario will happen a lot. Getting like a slot 1 with 8% accuracy innate, it's really hard, right? Can we all agree? How many do you have that? How many do you have in your account? A slot 1 violent rune or will rune with like 8% innate.
You got like 50 of those, bro.
You got 50 of them,
does,
yeah. So you're a freak, but then now it's really hard to come by. If you want to hit it out of the ballpark, I want to say this, like if you have enough of it, I don't know. I think like getting a slot 1 is not that bad because slot 6 you could get like 8% accuracy innate, but it could be like flat and it's just like bricking so hard, or it could be like resistance or so forth and so forth. Something you won't re-app, I don't know. I'm really torn about this.
Thompson, what are you getting?
What's slot? I'm torn. What are you?
Shut up! You're getting slot 6s and 4s. Look at this guy.
What slot you getting?
Just look at this guy. Like, hey guys, I think you guys should eat KFC, but I'm gonna eat Popeyes. You know what I'm saying?
Same with the slot 5 and the slot 3s, right? I'm not trying to like say like, oh, slot 6 is the best, because I'm really not sure yet. I know you guys are sure slot 6 is the best.
Slot 6 has an extra brick too, the resistance brick. Slot 6 has an extra brick. So you have resistance brick, flat HP brick, flat defense brick, and flat attack brick.
Does it matter? Like what I want to bring, like I want to kind of open your mind a little bit and say, no matter how many bricks there are on slot 6, right? These bricks and obstacles you will always have to overcome as you're farming the runes too, right? These statistics are there. So technically, think of it that way. It's better to go for the slot 6 and never for 135s then, because when you're farming, you're probably going to end up getting an easier time getting 135s than you are 6, right? So you want your best chance at the 6.
Question, how many slot 1 violent runes you have with 8% accuracy,
Right, but it's not just looking at the re-app potential of the rune, right? Like because in that case, it's a lot easier to roll a good slot 1 than it is to roll a good slot 5, right? Because less stats that you can pick up on the rune. You're one less stat.
Yeah, 5 is an exception, small exception.
Right. 1 and 3 are technically easier than 5, and they're also easier to re-app than 5. So theoretically, if you're not going to do a slot 6 to overcome the bricks or a slot 4 to overcome the bricks, slot 5 is the highest value.
Yep, yeah. Slot 5 is really good.
Slot 5 is not bad.
No.
So I think in order, it's like you pick 6 and then 4 if you want to go for the biggest chance at a huge upgrade, and then you pick slot 5 if you want a safe upgrade, right?
I think I came to a conclusion. I think if your account has a lot of HP and crit damage and defense innates waiting to be re-apped, you don't go for those. But what do you think? Because like some accounts,
I have a bigger conclusion. 90% of the people are going to take slot 6 and slot 4.
I agree that if there's enough slot 4s and 6s for re-apps, then yeah, go 135s. But that being said, almost no account should have more 4s and 6s ready for re-apping than 135s ready for re-apping.
Exactly. I agree with that 100%.
Can I ask you guys a question? Has anyone here opened one of the packs yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've opened
when you open the pack, do you select the slot when you open the box itself?
Correct.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct, yeah.
So
Just
theoretically, you could literally just buy all of them, and then you could kind of change it as you go. Like if you get really good slot 6 and then really good slot 4, then really good slot 6, really good slot 4, you could just get a slot 5 after if you wanted.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like the order still probably for the average player and anyone that's probably like G1, maybe even G2 and below, it's 6, 4, 5, and then you just ignore the rest. Like there's not really much of a point in getting 1, 3, 2.
Yeah. Like what I'm gonna do, and personally what I think, I'm just gonna be very bold with it. What I suggest, just get all slot 6s, boys and girls, because that is gonna be the hardest slot for you to get those runes in. So just slap it all in slot 6s, get all those. Let's say you already got 2 and you're like, wow, I got 2 already. Keep going, right? You get 4 and 6, 5 and 6. It's not like it's gonna be bad that you have a lot of slot 6s. You need them badly, right? And the other ones you can get it way later. Yeah, 6 or 4. That's my firm opinion. Go ahead, Lucky.
No, I was just gonna say, I think majority, you've hit the nail on the head. I think majority of the population, it's going to be 4s and 6s. Find the right balance before you go ahead and select. Go through your runes and scan out what you have in your 4s and your 6s. Pick your most valuable ones to go with from there first, and then make that choice. I think what Thompson was mentioning before was also a really good point. If you've got a lot of rune depth already, you can always chase out a specific innate in 1 and 3 to be able to build your rune depth as well, because you don't want your 1 and 3s to be lacking. Those should be carrying your rune sets. So if you got those a bit more stronger and a bit more deeper, you can have those extra 2 or 3 or even 4 units helping you out in RTA, for example.
Also, if you're a huge whale, I think there's a pretty big value in getting Swift on these packs, because you can chase.
That's for the premium. That's for the premium top. Yeah.
Yeah, because then you can use regular rune packs to buy Violent or Will.
Right. All right, let's get into the.
That's very specific to innate chasing and like nothing else.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be for the Daphnis Barber
hardcore
users. Daphnis Barber users are really chasing those for specifics.
I don't know about that life.
Yeah,
it's a very expensive life. I don't recommend it for anybody, even the people who spend tons of money. It's like you don't want to do that.
Hey, you can't say that, man.
I'm getting Will and Violent when somebody buys it for me.
I think there's enough people in the world out there that the money is a different value for everybody, right? So the way they spend, I mean, that could just be normal for them, right? They could walk out and just be spending $2,000 on food every day because they can, right? So that's how it is. Anyways, let's move on to the second part of the question here. How do you?
There's one more thing we're talking about the value.
Sure.
Don't discount that we also get 5 6-star purple runes. Like those can be really good as well. So like the value isn't just
purple plus.
Purple plus. They can all be legends like that. I've seen a pack with 4 legends and a guaranteed, which is like crazy. Yeah. So there is pretty good value to it. Don't think like, oh my god, it's this one rune is good or everything is useless. It's not quite like that. So
that's where you should get your 135s, purples, and legendaries. Just saying.
Let's just
they're gonna drop from that.
I'm gonna buy the packs, and I don't really buy that many packs.
How about you, Wycuz? Are you thinking about buying the packs?
No, I'm thinking, but I don't think I'm gonna.
Whoa, he's thinking. Usually he's free to play, so hey, that gives you some value, boys and girls. He's thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, this goes on to the second portion of the question here. How do you think these packs kind of like affect the game? Right, it's a big question that Lucky just kind of dabbled at the beginning there. That's gonna be something that a lot of people are gonna talk about. Like, oh man, it's another pack. It has reapps in it. It's gonna make the gap between free to play and pay to win bigger. Like, how do you think about that? Because before I say my opinion, let's let you guys go
earlier it was mentioned that the good timing of it, right? Because now the free to play players got their 2 free runes, so they can't complain that much about a payer pack. You know what I mean? Like, because it kind of balances back out the pay to win and the free to play, because now the pay to win guys are complaining like, oh, why do free to play players get this potential triple quad speed rune that can help them catch up to me, and I only get the same chance that they do to get it. Now, if you're a pay player, you have this extra bonus 6 times compared to what the free to play guy has. So it kind of resolves both ends of it a little bit. You know what I mean? It balances out both ends, I feel.
Okay. Anybody else has thoughts on it?
I think it's fine. I don't think it's game breaking at all.
Okay.
Any pack that has reapps, including like the monthly magic crystal that lets you buy 5 reapps, will widen the gap from free to play and pay to play. Like, man, the reapp stones is just pretty OP,
Right. So we kind of had the discussion a little bit on stream. I don't know if some of you guys were there last night. We were kind of discussing about it, and like a lot of people really don't like that fact, that feeling, right? That other people can spend to get ahead of them because they want to be competitive. What do you think, man? Because I feel like having packs in this game in mobile games is kind of like what it is, right? It's just the nature of mobile games to have these microtransactions and packs that can save people time or help people progress in the game, right? It's just something normal, right? How do you feel about it? It's just a norm, right? These people that want to be competitive and whatnot, like I just tell them maybe mobile games is just not your jam, right? If you want to be number one. Like I feel like these people that are complaining about packs and trying to be competitive, it's because they've spent a little bit into the game and they know that they can spend into the game and get ahead. But because other people can do the same thing but spend more than what they spend, they're getting upset at it. You know what I mean? So in theory and I feel like they're at fault as well to kind of, I mean, are not at the right place to be able to be upset really at the situation. What are your thoughts on that? It gets pretty deep once we start expanding.
Yeah, I mean, not to be mean about it, but honestly, if you're planning not to spend any money on mobile games and you're trying to compete, you could not spend money and play. Don't get me wrong.
You can have fun, lots of fun.
You're trying to compete at the top levels, and you're trying not to spend money at all. Like mobile games in general is probably not for you. You know what I mean? Because all these mobile games are all centered around paying to get ahead. Whether it's
there's
even
like
double experience, things like that,
right? And that's like free to play.
Yeah, but the thing is, the difference with those and this is that their revenue streams are not high compared to like what these games are doing, right? Those games don't survive through those revenue streams, right? Like TFT and like Dota Auto Chess, they don't survive as well with that thing. Their main revenue source is from their main game Dota and their main game League, right? If anything.
I understand.
Yeah, but you're right. There are other mobile games that you don't spend. True. Right. Go ahead,
I have a pretty firm stance on this. It's like if you disagree with people paying to get ahead and you actively made the choice to compete, I don't mean play, I mean compete. Like you want to compete, which means you have a strive to push for the top and you try to consistently improve, and you find it unfair that people can pay to get chances to get past you.
True.
Chances, because it's very specific. They get chances to get past you. You have no idea what a gacha game design is, and you really should not be playing them, because you're putting yourself in a situation where you think it's going to be fair when it's not. Like that, you're completely delusional if you think that it's going to be balanced in that sense. That doesn't work that way. The only thing where that happens is strict skill-based games. And gacha implies that it's not that it's not inherently skill based, right? Gacha is literally gambling. Like, I don't know what else to say. You're literally playing a game where it's designed to just gamble repeatedly.
I mean, as Tyler brings that point up, the whole gambling thing. Like, honestly, if you ask me where I am right now in the game, would I rather be where I am based on what I spent, or would I rather be very low pay and be way further back? I'd rather be very low pay and way further back.
In hindsight, because he didn't
like
hit.
Tyler said, it legit is a gamble, right? It's a gamble.
Right.
It's completely a gamble, and I'm not doing good at this gambling.
Yeah.
Right. I'm very bad at this gambling. It's the worst casino I've ever been to. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of money went in and not a lot of stuff came out. So. If you want to ask where I'd rather be the guy that paid almost nothing. That's, probably C3, G1, than a guy that's like G2 right now that's paid a lot.
Pay to lose.
And I could tell you a lot of G3 players have spent a lot less than I have. That I can guarantee you.
And I can bet my life on it. Like one scroll, right? You could just like...
Yeah, all it takes is one scroll. It's exactly what it is. That's crazy, right?
You guys are comparing it to casinos, which I see where you're going, but in my personal opinion, I really view it more like an arcade. You know what I mean? You're putting money into like a crane machine. You're putting money into like arcade stuff because you know that you're not getting monetary value back, right? You're not getting monetary value.
And the crane you're using has one arm, right?
There's only one stick, yeah?
It just stirs things around.
You never get anything.
That actually works out because I view casinos like that. I view casinos as if you lose, you're just paying for entertainment. God. You're not trying to win your money back. You're just paying for entertainment.
When I go to casino, I just pay to play. I don't expect to
exactly. Yeah. Right. That's what this game is. And another thing that is important to mention when we discuss like the complaints about paying for progression and stuff, all gacha games, and I very specifically say gacha games, all gacha games that have competitive PvP are always going to be pay to win. And all gacha games that have any PvP will also be pay to win.
Right.
And that's just a hands down fact, right?
But now this doesn't mean that a specific
what it comes
game...
down to is it more pay to win or less pay to win than other games? And that standard really only comes down to what is the absolute worst, most pay to win game, and what is the absolute least, most pay to win game.
Yeah, there are games where you pay and you guarantee you get ahead. You know what I'm saying? And there's games like this where you pay and you just falling behind money wise.
Right. Yeah. There's just there's certain factors to the game that, like, for me personally, like, will make the game okay or not, right? Every mobile game, I think at this point, a gacha game, we understand that there are packs in them, right? But whether or not the game cares about the community, whether or not the game does updates, is probably the most valuable thing to me, right?
Yeah.
Because if they try to make money, I mean, okay, it's a normal, man. It's a business, right? It's the same as you walking out IRL and there's businesses trying to get you to, buy their food, right? They're trying to make money. It's a business, right? It's understandable. But how they care about the community and how they keep the game updated is the main thing, right? It's not just a
of
cash
the company
grab.
matters
Exactly.
a lot too.
Exactly.
Definitely.
So I think for this particular conversation, the main topic is just because I see so many people out there upset about it. And me personally, I don't like to see people upset, right? That's just one of my pet peeves. I don't like when people are mad. So there's other things in life to be upset and mad about. Don't be upset about this, right? And hopefully, like, this kind of insight kind of opens up your mind and makes it so you go, okay, you know what? Yeah, it makes sense. I do want to still spend money because I enjoy it, or I don't want to spend money now, but I'm still going to enjoy the game for what it is. Or maybe I don't want to play this game anymore because I don't enjoy it, right? There's no reason to push yourself to play a game because you're not enjoying it, right? That's not what you should do, ever. So, you have anything to say, Lucky?
Yeah, I just wanted to add, in this game, I think if we'll look back at it, it's simply people buying for extra dice rolls. That's what it comes down to, right? You're not guaranteed a result, right? You're just giving yourself extra chances. And that's why you got to look at it. So every single purchase is literally you throwing more dice down on the table. And that's what you get, right? You don't know what it could be good, it could be bad. You don't know what it's going to be at the end of the day. I think a lot of the issues is mindset, right? You play for a long time, you get really invested into a game, you have an emotional attachment to it, and that's what usually drives a lot of issues. If you think that just because you put in a lot of time doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to end up being the best at the game, or have the opportunity to be the best at the game. You know what I mean? You got to try and understand.
And
that.
You got to get lucky too. Luck's involved
exactly
too.
Right.
Exactly.
You got to get lucky.
Yeah.
You got to get lucky.
How many times have you guys got a purple rune and thought, why don't I get triple speed rolls?
You can get triple speed on those?
You get triple speed, That's a 1 in 27 chance. So 1 in 27 chance for a triple speed roll. You could, one person might go through 100 of them and not get a single triple speed roll.
Yeah, but you get triple speed all four as well.
Exactly, in all four, right? That's the other thing. That's the other side of it, right? But someone else might be going through 100 of them and walk out with 10 or 20 triple speed rolls.
Actually, there was a player yesterday that came to my stream. He was like, do I re-app a 27 speed Swift slot 6? It has 3 flats. It has like 2 flat stats and resist on it. And I was like, how long have you been playing the game? I looked at his profile. He's been playing the game for 3 months. He's got a 27 speed, a 29 speed, and a 30 speed. All slot 6 HP percent. All slot 6 HP percent.
Wow.
I was like, whoa. No, but he's literally been playing for 3 months.
Oh, yeah.
It just goes to show, like, that luck does exist, right?
Yeah, it does happen. And that's just something that people need to understand, that it is just a dice roll. You need to accept it. And, we all play a game to enjoy it, right? Just remember why you started playing Summoners War. Probably started playing because you wanted to play a game that you could play wherever you're going. You might have had a PC or a console background. You can't take that wherever you go. Just remember why you play the game and always go back on that and have a think about it. And, don't let it out on yourself, because you're doing what you can with your own account.
Don't use your dinner money to spend on the game.
Yeah, just the lunch, just the lunch money. Lunch
first.
is not as important, right? Just the lunch money, not the dinner money, right?
Take care of your families first, okay? All the big spenders, I can imagine, I hope anyway, that all the big spenders are spending extra money, liquid money, stuff that's not important. That's not as important because, like I said, don't go chasing your dreams that you're going to be next SWC champion, because there's only one of those, okay? And be throwing away all your family's money and your life savings into this game. That's not what it's about. You know what I'm saying,
Spend
guys?
responsibly. You're right.
Yeah, spend responsibly, honestly.
Okay.
Don't be like me, stupid.
No, you're a smart man. So in terms of the new packs, we talked about the new Anniversary 2 packs that got released, but there was one other pack that got released, and it was a $4.99 pack where you get...
Don't buy it, please.
$4.99 pack let's talk about it for a second here, because I actually have a difference of opinion than you, right? A $4.99 pack for 100 crystals and I believe six 5 to 6 star rare plus runes.
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up because yesterday on your stream there was the guy that asked, I only want to spend $50 in the next couple months. What should I buy? And they added a new pack for him to buy. I think it's not a bad pack because anybody later on in the game, obviously it's very hard for you to get any love out of that pack. Right. But somebody new for $5 and they magically hit even a blue with 6 speed on it, right? Like, that's a huge upgrade for a new player. You know what I mean?
I have a counter argument to that though.
And for the price that it is, if you really want to spend a couple $dollars a month, it's okay to get it. I think just for a couple $dollars. I mean, you shrink your lunch down a little bit and you got a couple runes.
Right, so the
example is $50, right? The example is $50
over X amount of time.
How many months? Let's say 3, 4?
3 months. Yeah.
3 months. Okay. 3 months is 90 days divided by 6. That ends up being $30 if you buy Daily Pack 1.
We suggested Daily Pack 1 first.
And that value
above those. No, we suggested Daily Pack 1.
No, it's definitely above it. Yeah. It's just an extra thing I'm saying, like another thing you could buy to add on to it.
I think the starter packs in the game are actually better than this rune pack for $5. There's a $1 pack, a $5 pack, and a $10 pack, I think, that come out in your first 20 levels that are better. And we kind of forget about them because we haven't been that level in years and years.
You get the Alicia skin with that one. Alicia something with that one, are you?
You get something with it, but like I think those actually give you crystals, runes, and I think you get a Devilmon and an LD or something.
Yeah, but it's not $5. There's one that's 5, one's 20.
It's 1, 5, and then I think a 10 and a 20, and then it goes up 30, 50, 70, and 100 afterwards.
Right. So what's your opinion? Do you think this $5 pack is actually trash for even early game players? Because I think we all agree only the early game players would ever buy this $4.99 pack at all.
I think you can buy. I think you'll never need more than 2 if you ever buy them. At most, you probably only need 1 just for the Swift set.
I feel like somebody gets $10 for their birthday. A kid gets $10 for his birthday. You got something to buy,
Yeah, I mean, okay. It also depends.
I mean, why'd you get $10 for your birthday? You can't do shit.
I don't know about
your birthday to buy a pack.
I don't know about Swift though, right? Like, wouldn't they want to get Vial since they probably are getting into GB10 and they will be getting into DB10 later? Wouldn't the Vial?
No. If you pick Vial, you're forcing them to fuse Veramos to finish the Violent set in the early game.
Yeah, but you're always farming giants first, all right? So you're always gonna have some kind of Swift Despair kind of runes already. So I think Violent's like what everybody wants Violent runes,
Isn't the rush to get a consistent Giants team? If you get a consistent Giants team, you're not wasting any of your crystals. This is assuming you spend $50 and you're not spending anything for like months and months, right?
Violent runes make everything more consistent.
Yeah, but by the time you're 2 months in, that's when you swap over to Dragons. It is at the 2-month period assuming you know how to play the game already, you clear TOA normal in 2 weeks or less. You move into Dragons at the end of the first month.
If you know how to play the game already,
if you know how to play the game. But if you don't know how to play the game, and even if you're following really strict like to the dime advice, you're probably looking at finishing TOA normal both rotations by the end of month 2. And then you're moving into Dragons at the beginning of the 3rd month. And I say this because I have literally been guiding new players for this for my entire Summoner's War career. So like that map progression, I think if you want to buy this, you buy it because you want the gamble, right? You want to see if you can get lucky and progress faster. If you want to be more efficient and you really, really care about the efficiency, Daily Pack 1 is always going to be better.
I don't think any of them should buy it without buying Daily Pack 1.
Sorry, what was that?
Is that pack limited? Sorry.
3 per month.
3 per month.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Brian, I told the guy to buy the Daily Pack 1 first.
Yeah, like if they don't buy Daily Pack 1, they shouldn't be buying anything else yet.
Established.
Much like these new rune packs. If you're not buying these,
Tyler just said that he's telling them to buy the Daily Pack 1 over that.
Yeah,
but I'm saying it's already established, right? That we're guaranteed buying Daily Pack 1. Right?
But then you have to look at the time period, right? $50, it's $10 a month to buy Daily Packs. So if you can't spend for 6 months, then 5 months of Daily Pack 1 is literally better than buying this. Because with TOA clears and the crystals you gain and the events we get, having that 10 extra energy per refill is always going to be a higher value by like a shit ton.
That's fair. That's agreed
upon. We established that already, Tyler.
Yeah. So at the end
That
of the day,
daily
is
pack
this pack
season's
even
not
good
bad now,
value? So
too.
this pack is kind of a YOLO thing then, if it's even for early game players.
What do you think about the daily pack 2? It seems kind of good.
Yeah,
like
let's
you
talk
get
about the daily
one
pack
extra
2 as
glory
well.
point,
Yeah.
and you get wings, right?
It's
So
funny
that's kinda cool.
they nerfed daily pack 2 and then they buffed it. They like made it worse by giving everyone the 1 scroll per day from it. So they made it like a bait pack, and then they upgraded it and said, okay, now
Is it
you
a
get
bait pack? I feel it's actually really good value prior.
No,
to
it
this.
used to be. It used to be. I felt it used to be. Yeah, before this it was useless.
I
5%
think
mana,
it's
5%
still-
EXP is garbage.
I think it's still pretty good value. Like for $30, you get 750 crystals and 11 mystical scrolls, something like that. I don't know.
You get 750
15
crystals.
mystics.
You get 750 crystals. You get 15 mystic scrolls, which is a value
Yeah.
of like almost 2k crystals plus the 5% EXP and 5% mana. Negligible, but still 5% adds up in the course
mana
of 1
is
month.
like-
I mean, 15
yeah.
days. If you farm,
Yeah, that's up.
if you farm like 50 mil in 15 days, I mean, 5%
Mana
of
keeps
that.
you
You compare
running.
it to other $30
One-
packs, it has value, but for $30 compared to the $5 pack, the value becomes shrunken a little.
No,
bit.
but you
That's
compare it to
right.
one Reap pack. One Reap pack is better in literally every way.
That's the way to look at it.
Yeah, if you brick 5 times, you could summon 1 4-star. It's better than 5 bricks on reaps, right?
Yeah, but that's 5 chances at something that's impossibly hard to find.
Right,
no,
but that's
but
also now you're also basing the fact that you have good reap targets, right? For an earlier
Yeah.
player, like 11 summons is better than 5 reaps, hands
Wait,
down.
But
That's
I
true.
don't think that's a
Yeah,
fair
that is
argument
correct.
though. I don't think you can compare apples to oranges, right? You're buying that pack, and that pack has insane value because you get crystals and you're gonna get what you call summons, right? If you're buying a Reap pack, you're getting it for progression for runes. So comparing that means that hey, yo, you bought that any pack that has a summon, that's not worth it. You bought Transcendent, not worth it. You should buy Reap pack, right? That's
Right,
the
you have
argument.
to
So you
compare
can't
it
really
to
compare
the
it.
Transcendent-
Transcendent's
pack.
a little different though because Transcendence gives you ancient crystals guaranteed.
I
Right.
guess there's some extent.
Every other pack could be negligible.
Right,
by that
but you're comparing summons to reaps, right? But yeah, I always agree reaps are stronger, but slightly different.
Yeah,
If
but
it's
from
from
a
apples
summon
and
to a
oranges.
summon pack, it's higher value. From a summon to a summon pack,
I see.
it's a high value.
Are reaps not the standard comparison for every pack in the game? Do you not compare everything to reaps in terms
No,
of
because if you're a new player, reaps is completely useless. I guarantee you, anybody that's played for less than a year, reaps are almost useless for them. Even a year, I'll even go up to a year. That
You
reaps
kinda
are
need the
totally
monster.
useless.
I hard disagree with that.
that-
I hard disagree with the statement that
Ooh,
reaps.
finally, all right, let's talk about it.
The reason I hard disagree with that is because the rush progression is actually to get your single S in a Rift Beast in under 9 months. If you get a single S in under 9 months as a completely free to play player, you are now getting reaps, and you can literally save those reaps until you're ready to use them,
Right.
and it's going to be better than not
Okay,
having
on the
them.
other side of that argument, right? If you don't get no twins in 9 months, you ain't getting no S in Rift Beasts. So you need to summon.
You can do all of that free to play now with Second Awaken units. All that stuff is free to play, and it's very easy to do.
Yo,
I mean, have
know
you
how long
done it?
You know how long it takes? You know how long?
I do know how long it takes. I
No,
literally
hold
help
on,
people
hold
do
on,
this every
hold on,
fucking day.
Hold on. Do you know how long it takes to second awaken a monster when you're doing level 1?
Yes, I
Level
do.
5.
Oh god.
Okay. You need 10
At
years
level-
to make 1.
You don't
At level
you don't-
2, at level 2, it's 220 energy.
Yeah.
Which is
Okay.
2 weeks.
Right. 2 weeks.
Before you do it to you're gonna have Fran, Lauren, Verd, most likely in your team, or Fran and Lauren and
And the first one you pick up is
Something
Crow
Crow.
because you can use it everywhere. You can use it
But
for all your
imagine-
dungeons. You can use it for
Imagine
all of your
summoning a Verd before you have to make a Verd. Like how much faster that is.
I mean,
if you could
take
summon.
Verd Elf,
These are both valid.
Okay,
These are both
What,
valid
if you
what
arguments.
is
summon-
what is the
Hey,
actual
listen.
percent chance to get a
You know-
bird?
Yo, what is the chances that you're gonna freaking spend 3 hours of your day every day for the next 10 years getting one monster instead of just summoning?
You're vastly
you
over
gotta look at
exaggerating.
summoning. No, how am I? That's exaggerating.
It is. It really doesn't take that long to do any of that.
Yo, I think level 5 is too slow. How about that? Need to make a level 10 rift. Level 10 2-way so I can do it faster.
Level
That's
10,
what
my,
you need to
my my asshole, you gonna do level
I need
10.
2%
Level
each
6
time,
you ain't
bro.
gonna even do, bro. Level 5 already hard for
Am
me,
I being
bro.
unrealistic
hard,
saying
bro.
that fusions are like not super difficult?
Fusions are. I think fusions is a lot of work if you don't summon. If you summon the materials
maybe
for
back
the
when
fusion.
maybe back when we played the game because you couldn't
Yeah.
farm any of them, but nowadays you can farm almost all of them.
Okay, I see,
Yeah,
I
but
see,
this-
I see both sides being very valid. You know what I mean? I think both sides.
I don't know.
Again,
you
it
summon
comes
2
down
twins,
to
you could skip all that fusion.
it comes down to
That's
probability,
all I
right?
know.
One's on summons, and the other one is on
You get Shayna,
being efficient
you
and
get
using those
Sabrina.
reaps later on, right?
all you need is Shayna and Sabrina, and you could skip a lot of fusions. You could skip the whole Veramos story. You don't need no Bella Dion. You don't need no Darian farming. You ain't got to make a Shannon. You don't got to make a Bernard. You got 2 twins. You win the game. You summon 2 twins, you beat the game. That's my opinion. You literally could, one day I could beat the game, but you got to farm for 2 months to get 1 monster, 2 more months for a second monster, 2 more months for a third monster. 6 months in, you got 3 monsters. 6 months in, I got 16 twins fully skilled up.
The logic's already wrong. It progressively gets faster and faster. The only slow part is literally the beginning.
Agreed.
And we have all the things to make it
topic
faster too.
Yeah.
All Rainbow Mon are now 5 stars that you get. You don't get 4-star max Rainbow Mon anymore. You just get 5-star Rainbow Mon. You 6-star units twice as fast.
Okay, I think this is a good time to agree to disagree. I think it's a great topic. It can work both ways technically. Both ways can progress through the game. Okay. So we talked about some of the new packs, and I think even the Daily Pack 2 that we kind of brushed up on is really good. And that's going to kind of lead us into the next topic here. Daily Pack 2 having that additional point now for glory points. And we've been discussing for a long time, hey, glory towers take a really long time. Can we make it easier? Right now they're giving us the pack to get points easier. And that segues into the recent updates. Yeah, what are your thoughts on the new quality of life updates? Some of the UI changes, some of the arena updates, the weekly rewards, and do we have any more suggestions for them for the future?
They legit made the greatest thing happen. And that's called shop refresher without the warning.
I unsummoned a Savannah because of that, Patrick.
Wait, actually?
No, I mean like I felt like because like the muscle memory, I felt like I skipped at least 20 mystical scrolls already.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Oh
I
my
didn't
god,
know.
you don't know how hard
I
it
just
is.
found out about it. I was just doing it before the podcast.
Yeah.
And it actually lags a little bit. So I pressed
your
it like
internet's
8
slow.
times and I only saw like 2 different sets. Like I ruined a lot of crystals for sure.
It's the most intense game ever, shop refreshing. I'm like,
but you got to be a
locked on the
little
phone.
patient because I don't know if it's just my phone because I'm playing the
Yes.
old phone, but like it lags a little bit. It
Oh,
takes
mine
2
don't lag.
seconds to refresh.
Mine don't lag. My iPhone 7, mine don't
Okay.
lag.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just tried it now. Mine was lagging a little bit, and I refreshed mad times, and I only saw like 2 new rows of stuff.
Here's the thing: you could exit out of the game, reload the game, and it won't ever ask you that again. Oh, it's
For
like
the day,
you
for
make
the
that-
day. For the 24
Huh?
hours. For 24 hours. The next refresh
Oh, for
of the day,
24?
I think it asks you
okay.
again. Yeah, I think it's a daily thing. Just like the
Oh.
packs. Like, don't show me the packs again. It has an option. Or
Yeah.
don't show me the event or whatever. It has that. Yeah, for 24 hours. It won't show it to you again.
It's amazing.
Because I tried it. I like exit out of the game and jumped back in, and it never asked me. I was like, oh my god, okay, I'm gonna have to do this raw.
Yeah, I think it's one of the greatest things because I think shop refreshes are very valuable for the players that have crystals and a lot of mana. It's very valuable. And I think as you get used
a
to
lot
it,
of power.
yeah, as you get used to it, it'll be easier. But yes, you have to kind of
There's
go not too
no
fast.
way. There's no human able to shop refresh really fast, like that doesn't skip. You have to figure out a way. I'm telling you, like shop refresh down and up, and then click refresh. That's the
To
way
be
I do
fair,
it.
the fastest shop refresher I've seen before this is probably Leisha. Leisha
Uh-huh.
shop refresh is
But
extremely
I get
fast.
it. You have
But
to. You're
there is a
zoned in.
chance
You
of
took
error,
some.
yes.
You took some pre-workout. You're zoned in, and you do it. I get it. But then you still will skip it. I'm telling you, the muscle memory, man.
I can do it on the daily, dude.
Not to, but it's too slow. It already did it.
I can do it. I just did it last night. We were just refreshing it last night. I have no problem seeing it really.
You're
I
like fast.
also-
You're good.
Fast, like every second. Like I just click
Oh.
it, scroll, click it, scroll, click it, scroll, click it, scroll. I did the same thing for people's ancient crystal shop. You know, now that you don't have to, press confirm anymore for ancient crystal shop. That one's a little scarier because you could skip a crazy rune, right? But I could see it pretty quickly because you just look for certain cues. Right, the cues
Yeah.
that you're looking for, Vile Will, that one's a little bit, self-explanatory. The shop,
Well,
you
technically,
kind of have
that
to
one's a
not miss the
little
runes.
excessive because it's not really a rush. That one, you know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
shop refresh
You
is kind of
20
a
of
rush.
those,
The
you
ancient
know?
one is like
Plus,
you
you only
yeah,
do 3
it's
things
so
at
limited.
once, so it's not that hard to see what you're looking for.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only
And like I
things
said,
I
it's
would
not a
say,
rush. You have 15 days to look at 20 pages. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, it's 15 days. Like you're not in a rush. Don't do it. You know?
It's so risky. Yeah, leave untick that one. Leave that one unticked just in
Yes,
case. You
I
don't
wouldn't
know
even
unless
take
you
that
double
one,
click it.
literally.
Yeah,
I
but
wouldn't
shop
even-
refreshes, I think that the only thing that's hard, I believe, to kind of see is the Legend 6-star rune. Everything else kind of stands out while you're like sliding through. But that Legend 6-star is not always that easy to see sliding through. So I would definitely be careful about that. Yeah. So that's one of the QOL, quality of life changes. Anything else? What do you think about the new UI for the event pages? And what about the new UIs for you go into the shop interface and whatnot? Good.
I have an issue with
Sweet.
the shop interface.
I hate it. I just checked it out today and I hate it. Like it's not the stuff's not where I know it is. It's not good.
So
Now it's wasting my time.
some
Okay.
some things are nice, some things are kind of shit.
Okay. Let's talk about it.
First of all, I really don't like how they have an efficient tab. Because it makes it especially to new players, it's like you have to buy this pack. And they have packs in there that are just not that great.
Mm.
And we're like, you don't need to buy them, but you could. But other things, I mean, it's frustrating. Like you look at it and it comes down to like, do you actually think this is valuable? Do you think this is not valuable? Yeah, the efficient tab is kind of yikes to me.
Well, that part comes down to the fact that they technically want to sell every pack they have. You know what I mean? So they can't they can't tell you that these 3 are the premiums. Don't buy those ones. You're getting gypped. You know, getting ripped off, idiot. You know what I'm saying? Like they gotta tell you everything's good. You know?
They have an efficient, and then right below that they have a limited one.
Yeah,
so it's like a double base.
Yeah, I just flicked through the
efficient
one. I'm like, legendary attribute. That's not efficient, right? In my eyes. You know how you pick the elemental legendary scroll? That's in there. I don't know. I don't think that one's efficient.
I think they should do suggested tab is fine, right? That's the monthly, or they could even call it monthly packs, right? Suggested is fine. I think limited is fine, but they should change the efficient to hot, right? And they change it to hot tab, and it shows the packs that are purchased the most by other people. And then we also can know what the community is buying, right? And if they're buying a bad pack, that's the one that most people are buying, right? So put it as hot. Right.
If we're gonna keep the efficient tab, can you at least put the daily packs in there, please?
No, it's in there. It's in the second tab.
It's right at the right.
It's in the second tab. Yeah, second tab. Right, but I think
why is there 2 tabs? Why do we need 2 tabs under our 6 tabs already?
They want to sell packs, boy.
Why do we need so many extra little tabs?
Because they want to make money, man. What do you mean?
I think the word efficient is not that good. They should change it hot. I agree with that. there. And hopefully they see something and they make a change to it, right? Just so it's still, I think it would sell better too, technically, if it said hot over efficient. Just saying. But yeah, efficient does sound a little bit weird. How about the rest of it though? Does it feel a little bit more sleek? I mean, obviously it's a little bit strange though, because we're not used to it, right? Because everything's all whack. It's all different places. I'm not used to seeing it.
I mean, I don't like it, but that's basically because I'm not used to it yet. But once I get used to it, it makes no difference really. But like as of right now, I don't like it because I have to look for shit. I don't like to look for shit. I like to know where things are at all times. Or on the first of the month at least.
I think we table this one in a week. We say, okay, do we still like it or not? If we like it in a week, it's probably good.
I mean, it feels sleeker, right? It's not. It's about time they did some UI changes. You know?
I'll tell you after the first of the month.
How about the event page?
There's one thing in the shop that I'm not a huge fan of. When you go to the Glory one, when you tab between Guild, Special League, Arena, and then World Arena, it shows you the currency location or whatever it is swaps between each one. I wish it just showed you all 4 currencies at once.
Like how you see it in the regular World Arena.
Yeah, and the reason for that is because every week that like if I'm like busy and I don't do RTA in a week, I like spending my Special League points to buy the Transmog Stones. In regular Arena, like I'll transfer my points over, but I only do that if I like need a little bit extra RTA glory. It's just so you can see exactly how much of each thing you have.
Okay. So those are some of the UI and quality of life changes, but some of the bigger ones and actual big changes were the arena change. What's your thought on the arena change in taking our idea that we've been discussing for many podcasts, right? On helping players to get through that arena tower, glory tower, maxing, right? Because it took so long. Now with the addition of getting weekly glory points, even if it's a small amount, as we said, what are your thoughts on that?
So I'm confused by this a little bit, to be honest. Is it the ranks within each rank, or like how does that work? Is it like, does like Conk 3 have players 1 through blank now, and then Conk 2 has players 1 through, or is this just like, legend player, second place, third place get 150, 120, 100, and then G3 gets 70 to 80, and everyone else below that gets 50 extra? Like, how does that work?
I think so.
I don't know how it works, but I really don't like how rush hour is 2 hours now, or something like that. It's like
tally is 2 hours.
10 to 12.
No, rush hour
tally takes 2 hours. Rush hour is the same. Tally is 2 hours. Yeah, like Guild Wars, how they added an extra.
So you have to wait 2 hours after arena's over to do arena again.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Like after rush hour, we have to wait 2 hours instead of 1 hour.
Yeah, so it takes 2 hours to give you the results.
But you're sleeping by then already, bro. Don't worry about that.
I can never do arena now because it's so late.
No, it doesn't change. It doesn't change your rush hour. That last rush hour is the same. It's just that once it's completed, it's gonna have a 2 hour tally time where they're calculating the points. It doesn't affect like when it finishes. So you should.
And then I have another question. So is it a rank within like C3, within C2, within C1, or is it a rank like between all conquerors, between all guardians?
I'll be honest, I didn't even look into it.
I'm just not sure.
It's twofold, right? Part of the game. It's it's a rank within a rank. So if you finish Guardian last week, you're put into the Guardian bracket, and then you're competing for the position in the Guardian bracket from the previous week. So then that's how it determines what points you are. So you can finish Fighter, even if you're a Guardian player because you took a week off Arena, and you can fly to the top of that ranking list and be the number one Fighter player and get your glory points that way. That's the way I've kind of interpreted it. And then it refreshes every week.
I forgot you can check the tab in Arena. That makes sense.
Because
Okay,
I'm a
that
fighter
makes sense.
in Arena right now.
Yeah. So if you go into League, there's a League thing there now, and so that'll tell you what league you're in. And it's based off the previous week, and then so if you finished in Fighter, you can get to if you took a week off, you could, and you're a Guardian and you rush usually.
Ranked
you end up ranked
in the
one.
Fighter League, baby.
Yeah, you end up getting 150 extra glory points based on the way I read it. That's the way I've interpreted it. I don't know if I'm right or not, but that's why.
So there's a ranking within there then.
Correct, yeah.
So most players that are just doing the Arena probably just going to get the 50 plus, right? Usually then.
So what you're telling me is you get a minimum 50 extra glory every week, right?
Yeah, it's extra 50 every week. Think about it that way.
Sweet.
That's not bad.
Yeah, no, yeah, it is. You can see it says by group, so whatever group you're in, so you group rank 1 and get 150 extra.
Yeah.
So how do I be rank 1 in Fighter?
Minimum is 50.
Because I like be rank 1 in Fighter right now.
Well, I'm ranked 20. I'm ranked 20 in Fighter, so
Is the efficient way to do it to like drop and rush, drop and rush, drop and rush? Is that the way you should do it now? Like every week you just rush and then you
tank during rush.
Tank during rush. Yeah, you just stay in a low range, the whole time. Yeah. But it makes a lot more rushing now for points.
Oh no, it's every alternate week you'd have to be top of your list, right? And then the next week you have to tank.
Okay.
And then
I want to say this before because I know people in chat are gonna get extremely triggered right now.
What?
Stop worrying that people are smurfing Arena ranks because it doesn't matter. You get extra glory no matter what.
Yeah.
Just accept it. Just accept it. You get extra glory.
This is the normal human mentality. We come up with an idea and we even say, hey, even if it's just a little bit, we'd like some more glory points to help people progress. They release it and everybody's like, huh? 50 points? That's some bullshit, man. Like, that's it? Like, oh my God, that's all they're going to give us? Like, holy shit, man. That's 50 points, man.
0.
Oh, come on, dude. Like, you could give us more than that, 50 points? Like
for real, though.
I think it's great.
You get
I think it's a good
free
start.
glory for doing nothing.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it's a very, very good start. Very good start.
50 is 10 extra wins every week, man. You know what I mean? Like 10 free Arena wings, guarantee wins too. Yeah. Without trying, you're getting 10 free wins, so you can't complain about that.
I think I would have liked to have seen some sort of scaling, so then it promoted being in the higher ranks. And maybe that's something they may lean towards.
That's what they have to add, Lucky, so people don't sit around and do what we're saying, like tank in the beginning.
They're scared.
Tank at the end of the week and then have an easy ride.
That's too much glory points if they scale it. I think that's why they're scared. Because if you start off with the bottom, how much are you gonna give? You're gonna give less than 50, 20 then. 20 for novice and beginners, and then 50,
or this could be the base. Well, this could be the base, but I'm not talking. It doesn't have to be exponential. It could be as simple as you get 50 in Fighter, or you get 60 in Conqueror, and 70 in Guardian. It doesn't have to be the biggest.
But to be fair,
it could be more. But I'm just giving
I firmly don't believe that somebody's strong enough to be in the higher ranks that they're going to sit low, get less crystals every week just to get 50 more glory points. So it's not that scary. You know what I mean? Because you do get more crystals the higher you finish. Yeah. So if I was an Arena kind of guy and, I need glory points too. If I was an Arena kind of guy, I wouldn't sit back and purposely get extra glory points for the lack of 200 less crystals. That doesn't make sense.
Spot on.
Right.
Like crystals are better. So if you're good enough to be good, I don't think you're gonna sit around and torture the beds. You know what I mean?
But what do you guys think of the idea from Lucky? I think I like that idea. Just give a certain set amount per rank. If you're Fighter, it's X. If you're Conqueror, it's X. If it's Guardian, you're X. And just keep it simple. 50, 100, 150. Keep it fair.
But that brings the competition down. I just they want to keep people actually doing Arena because Arena's kind of been out of the game already. You ask 100 people who does Arena, you get very few answers, But this at least puts a little competition in every little bracket. I can't compete in RTA, but I can be the best Fighter 1, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I can be the best Fighter 2,
What is this Novice League reward thing, and why is it 300 glory points? What is that on the right side of it in the update? I'm a little confused. Does that mean Novice get 300 for being rank 1 Novice, or what the heck does that mean? I'm a little bit confused on that.
Novice is the first 4 weeks when you start an account. You're not actually put into the regular Arena pool yet.
So I think if you think about it previously, that used to be the same thing as being level 16 and below back in when we first
Basically,
started.
same thing.
Yeah.
So if you're starting an account, you should know this information to be top of your leaderboard to get all these additional glory points then, because this is a lot.
Yeah.
This is a lot for them. This is a nice boost for the early game then. Oh, interesting. Okay. Very, very interesting. All right. So overall,
I think that's trying to make everybody, get involved in the arena thing. You know what I mean? So arena doesn't become like a dead part of the game. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's a step in the right direction in helping people max their glory towers and continuation of these to maybe somehow revamp Arena to make it more exciting content again. Since, like I said, it's been the oldest content for a while. These little changes is the right step, right? If they're not going to change it, at least they're giving us more rewards. I mean, statistically, it should make it 10%, 20%, 30% faster to max your glory towers now, right? With this simple, amount of glory points they're giving. Who knows? It might actually increase it by 50% faster to your glory towers because now you're more motivated to actually do your wings and you get more points that way. And adding on to that with the daily packs 2, if you're buying that daily pack 2, you are getting a substantial amount more glory points as you're clearing those wings on the weekly, which I think is great.
Yeah. For the guys that don't know, what the daily pack 2 does now is for every fight, you get an extra glory point per wing used. That's so good. If you carve out 400 to 500 wings a week, that's 400 to 500 more glory points a week. Think about it that way. Don't think about it in the short term. Think about what it does over the course of the period of you having it. Like, think about it a month's time.
Just remember, it's a bonus, right? It's not like they took anything away.
Bonus.
To give you this. It's an extra thing they put on top of what was already there.
Right. And even for the people that don't want to whale super hard, you could just be like, hey, I want to do this one time. I'm going to go ahead and, invest some resources. 15 days, I'm going to bang out as much as I can and get most of these glory towers, out of the way, right? If you ever thought about refilling your wings just to refill them, hey, now you get that +1, baby, right? Go all out, right? Use your resources and just refill it and you get those bonus points. It's decent. Very decent. All right, moving on to topic number 3 here. Topic number 3, new RTA season is live. We haven't talked about anything RTA yet today. What's your thoughts on new season, right? We can talk about the meta, we can talk about units we are seeing. We could talk about Beast Riders again, whatever it is you want to discuss. Feel free to bring it up about this new RTA season.
So I know they didn't. Sorry, go ahead. You were going to continue.
Oh, and I was just going to say, and we can also talk about any buffs or nerfs we want to see because, maybe there'll be a mid-season balance patch again. Maybe we'll see. So it's good to kind of discuss about those things. Go ahead.
So I know they didn't implement the win streaking point gain, but I feel like the win streaking MMR system has changed, like the actual matchmaking. If you're I won like 7 games in a row the other day, and I think I was ranked like 400 or something, and then I fought the rank 12 guy, and then I fought how to play like immediately after, and I was like, this is really hard. Like it ramped up really fast, like the difficulty of my opponents. Because I was in C2, I was fighting C2s, C3s, and then it went from like a player who was like just outside of, who was like 1650 or something, to playing against like people who are like 1800. Like the jump was just right there.
I think it's just a small early season pool, that's why. So the matchmaking is a little bit whack for the early season, just to queue up people. I've seen some pretty whack ranks too. Been seeing a lot of like 16, 1700s playing against like 1400s. But I think it's because of early season. Yeah.
It also takes a long time when you're like higher up there. It takes a long time to queue into a game.
How long
like,
is
I forgot about that.
6 minutes for you to queue in a game when you're up there?
7 minutes, yeah.
Yeah.
7 minutes when you're in the top 50.
It was kind of stupid.
Yeah, but I mean now
sometimes it depends. If you queue during a time where a lot of people are queuing, then it's fast, but
no, and
it's slow. It's slow.
Not even if everyone's queuing, they just fight each other, and then you just sit into for 6 minutes.
Yeah, you have to. It has to be someone high queuing against you.
Yeah.
Right, and that comes to our discussion of changing the matchmaking, and this is without changing the matchmaking, right? What kind of queues you guys are already having? So maybe this is one of the reasons why they haven't tightened the queues as much anymore, because you may queue for 30 minutes and not get anybody around your rank if they tighten it. So
I think it might get better because like it's the RTA season just started, so it might get better. Yeah. More people queue.
I was hoping they were going to add the win streaking points to regular season for the inflation. I thought it would help a lot.
The one in special.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't come out with the notice on that. They did it, but they didn't come back with any. They usually come back with.
Feedback. They're probably taking the data and like.
Yeah, I want to hear some results from them
first before we get.
Okay.
So what are the thoughts about this season? I feel like still a lot of people just still Gani Hathor and then pivot from that. That's just like the meta right now.
Gani Hathor is extremely strong, so.
Yeah, people are still taking it. But it's nice to see that the ending drafts like 3, 4, 5 are a little bit varying more this season.
3, 4, 5. Well, they have Gany Hathor and then a speed lead, right? Like either Sierra, Vanessa, or whatever. And then 3, 4, 5 is like pretty flexible between like, if they bring immunity, bring Chiwu. If they bring like non-immunity, they could bring Daphnis, and you could bring Fran if they brought like other stuff. So it's kind of, I think the meta's a little stale right now, but
definitely seeing a lot of Gany Hathor this season for sure with the Chiwu and stuff. So definitely a lot of that.
We're seeing a lot of the same shit. They've just added Beast Riders, is really what it feels like.
Oh, I think to deal with Beast Riders, I usually just knock it off the Beast, and just like keep it there with attack break, or just like if I see a Beast Rider and a Vanessa, I usually try to kill the Beast Rider. I mean, knock it off the Beast, and then kill the Vanessa, and then deal with the Beast Rider later. Yeah. I don't know about you guys.
It's really nice because when they go into human form, like they get half speed, right? So they're a lot more manageable.
It's not half speed; it's less speed, 15% less speed, half health.
I thought it's only 15%. I thought it was more. And they had double damage or 150% or something.
Right. Double down, 100% damage, 50% HP, 15% speed loss. But the thing is, like, what Thompson brings up was a great point. Like the Beast Riders, well, not Masha. Masha's mostly just like a damage unit. The other Beast Riders, well, Masha too. I'll explain. The other Beast Riders, they have a very good kit when they're on the mount. When they're off the mount, they're just damage. You know what I mean? You could deal with damage. You can't deal with the kit. And Masha doesn't have much of a kit, but the thing with Masha is if you drop Masha off the Beast, she stops getting that stacking passive. So if you can knock Masha off the Beast before that passive ramps up, Masha doesn't get all that bonus speed, and then Masha becomes a very weak damage in a sense. You know what I mean? So it's very important to get them off. If you feel like they're overpowered and they're crushing you and destroying you, once you dismount them, there's no more armor break. Barbara doesn't strip no more. Savannah doesn't take your bar down anymore. All that stuff goes out the window. They become a very soft HP, hard hitting but soft HP unit that you could, like I said, you could deal with a single attack. Because a lot of units prevent the single attacks from killing you, right? Like Triana. If you have a Triana, you're not scared of any dismounted Beast Rider, right? Because the one hit's never going to it never go through the passive. You know what I mean? So if you could just dismount them, they're not that serious. You know what I mean?
I think dismounting is not too difficult too. Most of them are not very tanky. They're a little bit more on the paper side. So it's fair to say that I guess dismounting is a good way. From what I've seen so far and watching other people, play against Beast Riders, I've noticed that a lot of people are drafting like double Beast Riders or at least one of them. I think one of the best ways to kind of deal with them as well is taking in Leo. If you've had Leo, I think it really kind of nullifies them a lot with the speed and really reduces their damage. So I think that's one of the kind of like, I don't know if it's a hard or I'd like to call it a soft hard counter.
You're almost always going to see Leo almost guarantee get banned because if anybody knows what they're doing with the Beast Riders, Leo makes them do nothing. Like you literally have that unit is 100% useless once there's a Leo involved.
I think Masha's the only one that actually does okay against Leo. That's just because she's like really damage focused anyways.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It'll do okay because she can still stack the speed on top afterwards, so it's still the fastest unit on the board. But then, and most people, when you see a Leo, you probably pick a Verd into it. So if you have Verd and Masha, that Masha still builds up pretty quickly. So Masha, like you said, Masha might be the only one that they wouldn't ban Leo because it's also fire into wind. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, but the other ones, like they become like toasted, completely 0 damage.
You just lose all your damage is really what it is.
Yeah,
exactly.
But the other thing as well is if you pick the Leo into it and like that Beast Rider comp can kill the Leo really easily. You have to protect the Leo as well. You can't just pick a Leo because Leo is fairly easy to kill, I find, as long as it's not like 2 Beast Rider comp with no other damage. Because if you kill that Leo, you're gonna win that match 100%.
Depends.
Well, if you're using two Beast Riders, most people pick Vanessa with that. 2 Beast Riders, Vanessa or Tyrannus, plus like some sort of heavy support or like a Fran or something.
There's a guy on my I've been playing very often on my stream. He uses like 3 Beast Rider and like Young Hong Ragdoll. I don't know. I just got queued in against him like 3-4 times.
Junior Acadia he's talking about. I guess.
I don't know. I don't remember the screen name.
It's a wild team.
I just know that guy.
Beast Rider and then white and black unit. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's a wild team.
Pretty wild.
I actually fought somebody who used a Violent Artemil against me yesterday. He won because his Artemil Violent procced out of sleep.
Yeah, Violent Artemil seems not bad. I always want to play around.
He took Arda, Ragdoll, Vivishell,
Huadam, and last pick was an Amelia, and I almost beat him with Fran, Sierra.
That's the thing too. That's the thing too with Arda is that in a perfect world, if it despair stuns, Arda is great. If it doesn't, it does nothing while it's on despair. You know what I mean? Like it's just a unit that stands there and just gets beat on, or his team gets beat on, and then he gets beat on at the end. You know what I mean? Like when Arda's despair works is great. When it doesn't work, like despair Arda is worthless. You know?
And when it violent procs, you're like, whoa, wait a minute, what's happening?
It's a game changer. Violent procs are always game changers.
I think the big issue with a lot of people are feeling right now is that cleave and like AoE/CC is like really, really tough, because unless you have Chiwu Tiana or like Chiwu, well, honestly Chiwu Tiana are really the only consistent ones, but even then, like a lot of people are trying to use like Gemini Chiwu or something like that, and you just pick Leo and Verd, and then it's really difficult, right? Because either you get triple revenge Verd or the Leo guarantee counters your Gemini. I feel a lot of people are getting frustrated with that.
Yeah, triple revenge Verd is pretty scary. Everyone should build one.
Yeah, but those comps, man. Let's talk a little bit about Chiwu, man. I mean, Chiwu's like so predominant now in a lot of the drafts. Like you could see it coming from a mile away now. You're like, oh god, I better choose a Chiwu so I don't let him take a Chiwu. You know what I mean?
Also, the cool part is that Chiwu comp, Chiwu's second skill strips, right? And usually it's like a Swift Hathor that follows up. So you can like kind of like strip one, and then Ganymede reset, and then go from there. It's not that hard to execute as well, to skip around the Verd, triple revenge Verd.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting things that are going on right now. But I feel like I agree with you when you say the meta feels very stale. It feels like the picks are either Vanessa, Triana, Fran, Tyrannus style, and then there's the Gani, Hathor, Chiwu people, and then there's the Verd, Lauren, and Tears, Diana people. And then with all of those comps, you can throw in the Beast Riders and you can throw in LD units. Like those are the three common drafts that I've been seeing a ton of.
Yeah, I've been seeing those drafts a lot too, for sure.
I think people are picking less of the Molong teams as well. I haven't been seeing the Molong teams nearly as much.
Molong teams are a little bit slow, and they get countered by that Hathor comp really easily.
Yeah.
The only time you really see Molong now is still with the same Bulwark nonsense. You know, Bulwark, Molong, Amelia, or some other buffer with another buffer.
I find a lot of people don't pick enough like hard immunity. Like they don't pick like Veligul and Amelia or something like that, where the Veligul does damage as well. So you just pick Hathor and you.
Veligul is pretty good, but people, when they see Veligul, a lot of times they just pick Daphnis. Veligul, and it's almost
Barbara.
Like a must ban.
Yeah. That's the problem with the hard immunities now. Like, there's too many one-shot units that could just deal with them. You know what I mean?
Unless you can get your Veligul to like.
There's no way Veligul's fast enough to contest with them. You know what I mean? You can't make a Veligul that's going to contest the Daphnis. You know what I mean? Like, it never happened.
Yeah.
And Daphnis is not even like a fast base speed, right? And they have all the other units like.
Yeah, there's 3 base speed between those two.
And have higher base speeds that are just going to demolish any chance of your Veligul going. Lucky madman, internet died.
Yeah, I think his internet died a little bit. That's okay. It's okay. We'll keep going as is. Yeah.
He messaged us. He said he'd be back in a sec.
Okay. We're gonna move on to the next topic, which is kind of buffs and nerfs. I'm gonna keep the conversation going. We got another 5-10 minutes. Yeah, and like buffs and nerfs, what units we kind of want to see changed. Right, a lot of people really brought up the idea that Beast Riders are really OP. I mean, people are still trying to figure out counters, but it seems like the meta is still Gani Hathor, right? Any other units that can be touched besides Antares, Miho, and Antares and Miho mainly, right? Because we have talked about those two units quite a bit. I think Compto has definitely heard, right? And hopefully they make some adjustments to those units. But any other particular ones that we can discuss about?
For a really general statement, any unit that you don't have is naturally OP. You know what I'm saying? Like anything you don't have always looks better. The grass is always green. Like that's a very, it's general. I get it. Like for example,
you have it, you're like
Miho overall is OP. Fine, everybody has Miho. Great. Anything you don't have becomes extra good. You know what I mean? Like, so it's very hard. Like people's opinions are very skewed by what they have and what they don't have. You know what I mean? Like you could.
I think we can limit the skew though, because a lot of us are fairly reasonable when we talk about like units that
I'm saying units that... us. Yeah, yes. I'm talking about like a general community statement. Like most people complain on what they don't have. Like you don't hear the guy with 3 Beast Riders saying Beast Riders are good. Like they're okay. You know what I'm saying? But the guy has no Beast Riders. Like, oh my god, this guy used 3 Beast Riders on me. You know what I mean?
But also,
That's just how people go.
Comtus made the meta really like, you know, you could pull a Ritesh, you could pull a Chandra, ruin it up and bring it to RTA, but it's not going to outperform like Fran, Verd, Lauren, and those free-to-play. Elucia,
There's too many good
Miho.
free-to-play units right now. That's my opinion, honestly. There's too many good ones. You can run a complete free-to-play team and have a very good chance of winning the game still.
Yeah, that's why I think that players that are very casual or don't really spend that much. I mean, if they've been playing a while and they have okay-ish runes with those free-to-play units, they can do pretty well. They can get into
last
pretty
night
high
I played
conquer
a
at
game.
least.
Yeah, I played a game on stream last night. The guy stole my Yunhong, which is fine. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. He had 2 other LD units, and I ended up beating him using a Fran, a Lucia, you know, like free-to-play comp. You know what I mean? And I beat him. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like, I think there's too many, like, good free-to-play units. You know what I'm saying? Like, there should be some. I agree. There should be not everything should be pay. I get it, but that many is like, and they're strong. You know what I mean?
I
still
kind of agree
feel
with you,
like-
but I kind of disagree.
Okay.
For me, I still think to get to that next level, you still need like some of the meta units like Sierra, Vanessa, Gani Hathor. Daphnis will take you there too.
Barbara.
But if you still need a summon for those, but if you have like that kit, then you could like start, you know, what were you going to say, Tyler?
So I agree in kind of a different way. You're saying that there are too many that are good. I actually think that the number of free-to-play units being good is okay. I think that the strength at which they are good is a little bit too much. Like Miho passive is too strong.
Yeah.
It's just hands down too strong. Nothing in the game, like Thompson said last time or 2 weeks ago, nothing in the game cannot die to crit, because crit is a guaranteed 15% chance on every single unit. Like
I have an issue. I have an issue with the people making the awakenings, right? Like the people making the new monsters, they're really fair, and they like their base speed is like, I get it, 108, that's pretty good. But dude, the base speed of the second awakening units are just like, whoa, like so good.
That brings up so much power to them.
And I just built I've been playing around with a water werewolf, the vigor. It's so good. The base speed is like 115.
Break, dude.
He's really good.
Skills by HP.
Listen, all the skill sets are only part of the problem.
Yes,
all the base speed is the big problem.
Yes, the base
like
speed.
Mina's, bro. If Mina didn't get a free extra 20 speed to work on, like Mina would be shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wouldn't be a big deal.
Yes.
Like, you get the free extra 20 speed, now that Mina could be extra 20 crit rate. You know what I mean? Like, that's insane. You know, like
you don't even need 20 crit rate because we're passive. You don't even need that either.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's extra 40 crit damage then. You know what I mean?
So you like get 40 crit damage, or suddenly your Mina has 25k HP. Like, I attack broke a covenant.
Insane.
I attack broke a covenant. He attacked my Mina. He only hit it for like 60% of its HP because I don't need any crits, so I just add more HP.
Well,
like, it's ridiculous.
That goes to say, I feel like Comtuous don't want the meta to be kind of like a speed meta, right?
Yeah, they're kind of 50-50 on that. Like, they say they don't want the speed meta, but then they enforce the speed meta by giving us faster units.
But they're kind of forcing the speed meta right now. Like, when you're like upgrading runes, you still want the fastest speed, or everything else is like a bust. You just sell, right? Pretty much.
And it's also okay that those new units are fast, but they should rework some of the older units to give them a little speed back too then. You know what I mean? Because it shouldn't be that all these new units have their own department when it comes to speed. Like, they're in their own story. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing else hangs out with them. You know?
I have to agree with some points with what you guys say, and I have to disagree as well, right? I think it's good that they have free to play units, or units that are more accessible, right? I put units like, you know, Trion and stuff like that in that category, right? More accessible, not free to play, but more accessible to players to deal with units that, you know, they don't have. I think it's important that they have that, but we need. I disagree, because I feel like they need to have these free to play units, and they need more of them like this. But I agree upon like that some of the kits are a little bit too much, right? They need to be there to counter units that they don't have, giving players that don't have these other units the ability to even compete with you and play with you and draft, and maybe strategize against what you pick and counter pick against you without technically having those units, right? Until maybe they get them. But some of the skill kits, I will agree, are a little bit too strong.
Yeah.
What do you think? Because I really feel that they should have these free to play units. They need these.
I think you're spot on, Brian. I think. Sorry. First of all, let me apologize. Our internet's gone out in our house. So I'm using mobile.
Oh, you're using your phone.
I'm using my phone because our internet's gone down in our house. I do apologize. I don't know. It happens. I don't know. It's 8 o'clock in the morning here. I don't know what I can do about it. So I just jumped on mobile.
All good.
First of all, I just want to say that they've that I think 2As are great, and I think they answer a lot of people's problems when it comes to approaching RTA. They have there's a lot of options now to be able to get yourself into RTA with those units. So I think they're going down the right track with them. But you're spot on in the fact that some of them do need to be dumbed down. Some kits are just absurd. There's just too much in some of their kits, and I think they need to find the right balance of them moving forward. Like Miho shouldn't have all three factors, like the revenge with the stun, the anti-death, as well as the heal and the attack bar. All of that together, it's a lot.
I agree. Yeah, I think units should be specifically built to counter other units they don't have, like, let's say, like Thompson said, Sierra or Daphnis, right? It's counters, like Mina counters the Daphnis and kind of counters the Verds, you know what I mean? It's good, but they need to be toned down a little bit so they can counter without being too strong, right? Which is not easy either for them to balance in their defense, but we can suggest things, right? What are you going to say, Thompson?
Last week, we were talking about Oblivion monsters. And I was thinking about, like, why was I so against, like, more Oblivion monsters or Oblivion monsters that, like, strip Oblivion and all that other stuff? Hey, welcome back. And I just feel like, yeah, like, in the meta, if there are more very powerful Oblivion monsters, it will just push out the people with, like, no speed. Can we agree on that or no? I feel like Oblivion monsters are, like, monsters with passive really helps out those people that don't have like 300 speed sets, 330 speed sets, right?
But it also helps out the people that do have those sets too, technically, right?
It's a lot of the players
maybe
I know
more so your way though, yeah. More so your way, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people that uses those type of passive units aren't that fast, but are still really high in the rankings. And I feel like if you come up with like a monster that does Oblivion, it just completely messes up with their comp, right? So I don't know, like advocating for more Oblivion monsters will really ruin the passives, and it will really push forward like speed meta, right?
So wait, are you like the speed meta or you don't like the speed meta? Or you like it or not? Like what's your stats on that?
Like if I get a good unit with Oblivion, then I could just outspeed them, and then Ragdoll like has nothing can't ever touch me ever, right? So I don't know. I think like the reason why they haven't been making like really crazy Oblivion monsters is because like they want to keep it fair and have monsters with passive be able to execute what's supposed to execute, right? Because there's so many monsters that do that. Think about like all your monsters.
Because like if there's too many Oblivion units, right? Like then there's no more game. You know what I'm saying? It's me punch you, you punch me. You know what I mean? Like it kind of comes down to that. You know, without the like, because once you put Oblivion on certain units, it shuts them down, right? What does Verd do with Oblivion? Completely nothing. What does Ragdoll do with Oblivion? Close to nothing. You know, so it turns into just like a I auto attack you, you auto attack me kind of game. You know, everything's just every unit's silenced pretty much. You know,
I get it, but think about all your monsters that use like slot 2 HP or slot 2 attack. You know, those monsters, that rune set, just goodbye. Like you will never use it anymore, almost, right? The Antares, the Monkey Kings, your Dragon Knights. Like if they come out with a really strong Oblivion monster, like all slow units are like goodbye. You know, there's no use for it. Just like speed meta all the way.
I mean, but is it also fair to say that, you know, even if it's speed meta, can't you like speed meta right now and you nerf these and you kind of pretty much are controlling them fully too, right? To a certain extent. I mean, you bring in units that can cleanse and can deal with them, right? So the drafting and the units that are picked are changed slightly, right? Maybe there's less value on Ragdoll now. Maybe there's less value on Verd, so they don't pick it as early. So the draft changes now, right? Because your 1, 2, 3 is different.
Example would be if they don't want me to outspeed them, I pick Nephthys, they pick Tetra, and if I have that Oblivion monsters that's OP, then it's just I outspeed them, I win. Can you see that? So I think like that's why like they've been really careful with making like Oblivion monsters. I feel like Oblivion monsters will really mess up the game.
I think there's one other factor to it. By making more Oblivion monsters, you suddenly hard buffed immunity, and then we go back to this meta where everyone's just playing really, really slow for every game.
Oh man,
I mean, like really, really slow again.
I think last week we were talking about a unit that could strip and land Oblivion. I'm like, and it just felt like not right. You know, it just feels like I don't know. Something in me just felt like that's not right.
That has to be only one turn Oblivion if you strip and Oblivion at the same turn.
a quick side note on the whole free-to-play units thing, right? Why is it that a free-to-play Mina has an unconditional one-shot and a pay unit like Daphnis has a conditional one-shot? You know what I mean? Like, Daphnis needs to strip and land an armor break to have a chance to kill something. Mina guarantees it kills a fire unit every time.
If it doesn't kill it,
Mina
like
has
push attack bar
Mina
back
has
and
lower
stun.
base stats, right? Mina has lower base stats, and if Mina doesn't end up killing,
But
Mina
base
doesn't
stats
strip.
doesn't matter if you just delete somebody. You understand? Like Daphnis can have 10 HP and it'd be the same Daphnis as a 12,000 HP. It's there for one purpose: to kill and get killed.
Also, base stats don't matter when you have 119 base speed.
That's what I'm saying.
Also, when you say the base stats are worse, that's actually totally incorrect.
Yeah,
because-
119 base speed is great.
I mean,
No,
I'm not
it's
just
not
talking
even-
about
it's not even just the base
though,
speed.
But I'm not just talking about the speed though.
Oh,
But Comtuous very specifically said, and this is actually true because you can mathematically check the numbers. Second awakened units have stats in between 4 stars and 5 stars.
Correct. Right.
Like they have 4.5 star stats. So that unit has 4.5 star stats, and it has better base speed.
Right, but that's
Like-
exactly what I was saying though. What I was saying was that they need to release units that are like free like this, but they need to make sure the kits aren't as strong. I'm not totally against, like, I'm not saying Mina is not OP, right? I think you're getting it wrong. I'm just saying that certain things of the kit need to be downgraded. So when you compare Mina to Daphnis, I'm just still saying that I think, Daphnis' kit is, what an Nat 5 should be. Mina is just some slightly a little bit too much, right? is what we're saying. But
I fought a guy yesterday.
I misinterpreted what you said. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
That's my
Yeah,
bad.
I fought a guy yesterday. He runs Swift Fran, right, with Mina, and then a Swift Ileana. So he just Fran attack buffs. Mina pops one thing. Ileana juices the Mina up again and pops another thing. And I'm down 2 units. To free-to-play idiots. I'm down 2 units. Unconditionally. And then my Daphnis, I finally get to outspeed somebody, misses the strip. And then it's like,
by the way,
wow.
not to expose Patrick, but Patrick's Daphnis is 300 speed by Swift Will, right? And like it's so easy for Mina to outspeed the Daphnis. Your rune hard doesn't even have as good.
Daphnis, right? But it's very easy to get 301.
You can actually outspeed that with a violent set too.
That's what I'm saying. It's very easy to get 301 Mina, but it's very hard to get 300 Daphnis.
So what are you drafting, right? So I'm assuming you're drafting Daphnis early, they're drafting Mina late, or what's going on? Like, because there's also drafting, right? The things that make a change.
They just draft Mina whatever they want.
Right. So why are you not banning Mina, right? What are you allowing to go?
Probably a Barbara. You're probably letting a Barbara. It's like you ban Barbara or you ban Mina in a lot of cases. So I think Daphnis has been relegated to like a slot 5 or 4 pick, I think.
It's very hard to justify banning a Mina. Do you get it? Like there's so many good picks that it's very hard to justify banning a Mina that you could one shot back, but you're gonna get one shot. You know what I mean?
But sometimes it's
a lot of high level players.
I banned it before, but rare.
A lot of high level players now run like a unit that goes before Daphnis to protect the Daphnis, like a Swift Ganymede or Swift Hathor, and then the Daphnis will clean up whatever is on Will. But
yeah, like when a lot of times, I mean, I'm not just totally disagreeing, but I would like to also say that a lot of times when people draft, people lately have liked to chalk up an excuse to this unit is OP, which it is, right? Mina can be strong, Miho can be strong, but they chalk it up and they never go back and go, hey, what could I have drafted better? And I guarantee you, to a certain extent, there could be drafts and situations and bans that you would have done that would have been a much cleaner result.
No, sometimes the pick ban is better, right? But now the question is, if you're running Daphnis, right? You're obviously going for the first turn. You want to pop something, right?
Right.
So if they have a speed lead, you almost have to ban the speed lead, or if they ban your speed lead, then you just get popped by something else. Right. You know what I'm saying? So Mina isn't the ban when there's a speed lead battle. You know what I'm trying to say? Right. So it's like you have to ban the speed lead in that scenario, and that allows the Mina that happens to be built decently on Swift to just destroy your Daphnis, or destroy your Vertihile, or destroy if you have a soft Vanessa, or destroy a soft Veligil. Like, this is a free-to-play unit that everybody, if you pick a single fire unit, you are fucking scared to death when you see it on the other side.
Right.
Just like when you have a team that has Verd and another crit unit and you see a Miho, you are scared to death of a Miho. That is ridiculous to be scared to death of these units. You want to be scared to death of Gianna? Fine. You want to be scared to death of Ragdoll? Fine. Pater? Fine. These are free-to-play units that you are, like, you need 4 bans to stop this.
So to kind of change, to maybe expand your thought process again. I mean, I'm just trying to play the other side here, just for fun. But
I'm not against free-to-play units. Don't get me wrong. I'm just explaining the overpowered.
Right, but I'm just explaining the other side here. One second. Just explaining the other side here. Yeah, just explaining the other side here. I mean, now everything you're saying, I agree, right? There's a strong unit. Miho is really, really strong. Now, doesn't this lead to changes of the meta, right? Why are we drafting Daphnis turn 1-2 now? Maybe now we can't draft Daphnis 1-2 because of Mina, right? Maybe when we're drafting, if you decide to draft Daphnis turn 1-2, now you got to think, okay, I know everybody has Mina. What am I drafting in case he drafts Mina, right? This changes the way that, you know, RTA is played. And I think that is healthy, but I still agree there are certain units that are overpowered. I agree with that. But
Okay.
I'm not totally against this, you know, units are OP and
I
changing
agree,
of drafts,
I agree
right?
with you.
So
I agree with you.
I think that another issue with having Mina be OP and countering Daphnis is that you've instantly made all the wind units stronger again, and the wind units are already at the top. By nerfing fire units, by increasing like the strength of water units, you have improved wind units, which is a shit show because Gani Hathor, Diana, Sierra, Ethna, Triana are all better. Tyrannus is better. All those units get better because they're good against the things. So like if you pick a Daphnis and people pick 2 water units to counter your Daphnis, you just pick 2 wind units, and your 2 wind units are literally always going to be better. Like there are so many situations where you can just pick Gani Hathor and it's just better in so many cases.
That too much, Tyler, because like there's also light and dark units, and there's also like, you know, water units as well that are really powerful. But I think the one,
light and dark units are scary, but I wasn't.
Well, I mean, like,
I guess I should consider them.
Fran, Lauren, and other units as well. You know, Fran.
The scariest
Lauren
one is Lauren. The scariest light unit is Lauren. Lauren's #1 scary light unit.
Yeah,
I think Fran.
#1. Well, Fran's close.
Fran, Lauren,
Lauren's,
are like the 3, I think.
Yeah. So I'm like torn in between everything, right? Like, you know, I want these new units, so then people change, right? People don't draft 1-2. They draft
I like
different.
the Second Awakening.
Right.
I like the Second Awakening a lot, but I don't know that Miho is that crazy. But Mina is not that crazy, but Miho definitely, like the crit, like just changing up the meta. Like, do they ever want 4-star RTA to be a thing, or do they really want like 20-star RTA to be a thing? You can never take it seriously if there's a, you know, Miho.
Until you pick Miho, you have an 80% chance of winning that game. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
80% chance you won with Miho.
Like, I would win a lot of games being a dirty Miho user, but even when I win, I don't feel good.
I refuse to pick it. That's why I don't pick it. If you watch any of my
pick it all
replays,
the
you'll
time.
never see me pick Miho. My Miho is built. It's built pretty good.
And
I never pick Miho because I feel like if I win, I'm an asshole.
I'll tell you what.
You know what I'm saying? I don't like being an asshole.
part
I'd
about
rather
using
lose.
Miho is when
I
you
like
draft
being the asshole.
Miho in the perfect. The worst part about using Miho is when you draft Miho in the perfect situation, you're waiting for all your units to die, and you're just waiting for Miho to solo all four of the units, and it's a really shitty position
Right, it's like back
for
then
opponent to
people
be in
last
and
pick,
yourself
like,
to be in.
Camilla. You know, back then they last pick like Fen Yang. You know what I mean? Just you're just pretty much conceding the game. You said I lost, but I'm going to take a chance that this one unit is going to carry me.
But
You
also,
know what I'm
like,
saying? And then I can make a video and become a meme, and you know, like it's the dumbest mindset. You never
but
even
also,
try.
like,
You know?
how are you
Never even
supposed
try.
to not pick this monster because like Comtos refused to nerf her? How do you like not
Well,
pick her when you
well,
see
that's
like
not fair.
Verna
That's not
Hill
fair, right?
and all those other, you know, you just see the perfect pick her, you know, there's no way you're like, I'm gonna do it. There's like, I'm
I've
gonna do
seen
it.
perfect scenarios. I still don't pick her. I refuse.
Yeah,
I'd rather lose than be an asshole.
Right. I disagree with Contours doesn't want to nerf her. I just would like to say that I think that's not fair to them. I think that if anything needs to be pushed, Contours needs to fucking do more balance patches, if anything, right?
Yeah.
Or hot fixes. That's what I'd rather push them on because I think they're open, right? I want to give them credit for that because they've been very open and, you know, kind of listening to what people are saying and suggestions and whatnot. But Miho, I think we've made a pretty good point every single week, right? That's a really strong unit. So hopefully we see something happen in the next balance patch. If there's nothing in the next balance patch, then I'm gonna be like, okay, like what the fuck's going on? You know what I mean? Like, what are you guys thinking? Right? Like, what's the mindset? Right? So, yeah. I don't know. It's tough, man. It's tough. I like to see these units that are kind of strong because they really change the way you draft.
No,
They
it's
give people
fun
a
to
chance.
see what
Right.
it's fun to see when you're not involved or if you're on the good side of things. You know, it's not
Right.
fun to be that guy. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like for example, I was watching Leisha's stream the other day just for a
Mhm.
little bit, and she had a game. It was like her first game she played. Her hat throw is on 15 crit rate, no crit rate, but it still crit the Miho twice. You know what I mean? So it's like back to what Thompson said a week ago. It's kind of like, okay, why is there a unit that can't be crit to death when there's guaranteed crit on every unit? You know what I'm saying? If you could build 0 crit, maybe that's a thing. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But 15 is still 15. And if that 15 happens to be on a friend, that's now an elevated 15. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's crazy, dude. It's just way too strong. And it's like so dumb to use. Like I said, like the guy said in chat, it's a Hail Mary. It's a prayer, you know? You got 1 second left on the clock. You throw the ball in the air, hope somebody catches it. You know what I mean? It's really a prayer. That's all you're doing when you pick Miho. People pick, obviously, Antares is a good pick into Diana. Fine. Some people pick Antares just to pick Antares, though, with no Diana, because they're going for a Hail Mary. You know what I mean? If you pick Antares into Diana, I have no complaints. That's the right pick. It's a good pick, man. It's good strategy. It's well played. Mm-hmm. If you pick Antares as your first pick, which I've seen many times, just Antares right off the bat. Like, you're just praying already. You didn't see a single pick, and you're already praying.
But please pick Antares on me first pick, please. Thank you.
Pick my bar. G1 right now picking Ragdoll and Antares together as their pick 2, pick 3. And I'm like, why?
Yeah, it's horrible. Like, it just ruins your day. You don't want to queue anymore.
Yeah.
You want to just put your phone down and just take a nap.
But if you're a free, I'm not advocating. I always say she needs a nerf, the Dark Martial Cat. But if you're a free-to-play player and there's a person just abusing Vertihill, Hathor, Vanessa, I think your best chances is to slam Miho.
Yeah, like I said, it's a prayer. It's a prayer with a good chance of getting answered. That's all.
I mean, it's a two-way that we're talking about. We're talking that over other units and other Nat 5s. We're talking about it over Hathor. There is definitely
we're talking about it like you should probably skill your Miho with Devilmon before you skill like your Ritesh or your Louise and shit like that. Like, honestly, it's worth it, which is very, very disheartening to. Like, you're literally skilling for damage. You're not even skilling for like harmful effect rate or cooldown. You're literally just skilling for damage, but she's that good of a unit that it's worth.
Yeah.
Like, I think that says a lot. I think that says a lot about how strong the unit is.
Absolutely.
Also, to go back to it, because everyone, I mean, we've been talking mostly about 2As being too strong right now. We always talk about things like, Hathor needs a nerf. We want to nerf like different whatever Nat 5s are really strong for the meta, Ganny, Hathor, Okeanos, Ganny, stuff like that. We on the podcast know that we need to nerf those things, but we also know that things have timing. So, for example, if you nerfed Hathor skill 3 or skill 2 right now, it would just throw everything out of whack. If you only nerfed Hathor skill 3 or skill 2 and nothing else, the whole game would just go like fucking wild. It would be a shit show because there would be so many things that are unanswered now. What they need to do is there's a lot of timing issues where different things need to be nerfed at the same time. It can't just be like I hate Hathor, so Hathor has to be nerfed now, or I hate Mina needs to be nerfed now. They need to do like either periodic balance patches like every month and a half, 2 months, or they need to do like 5 or 6 decent units at the same time. Otherwise, we're just going to run into like the same issue and people are going to lose track of the direction that things should go. Does anyone disagree with that?
That's why it's called a balanced patch, I guess, because it has to be everything in unison getting changed. Right. Instead of just changing one thing where it becomes completely unusable, it can be changed to the part where it allows other things to be usable because it's all done in unison.
It's an ecosystem. Yeah.
Right.
It's like everything everything has an effect. Sometimes people think like, oh, can we just nerf this because it's so strong? That's so simple. Why can't they do that? But there's a lot of other issues, right? It brings in other units that can be potentially a worse issue that you don't see. But if they want to nerf win units, I'm down for it. You know what I'm saying? Because Barbara does pretty good. You know what I'm saying? I like Barbara. So yeah, more fire units.
I think on a side note, I think glancing should be a higher percentage.
How about anti-crit buff?
Because attack break, right? Attack break guarantees damage is halved, right? Glancing, like, again, I was streaming yesterday. This is a little biased because what happened yesterday, but I really think that there's a lot of units that glance, and like I got crit like 9 times in a row with things with glancing. Like it was a joke. Like it looked like I gave him crit buff. You know what I mean? Not glancing. Like it was nuts.
I think glancing.
They didn't glance a single time.
Glancing's really good versus supports. I find it kind of useless versus damage dealers. And the reason I find it good versus supports is because if you glance, you can't land a debuff, right? And it's good versus AoE as well, because if you have glancing, you always glance on off element. So like if I'm using my Okeanos, for example, and I have glancing, I can never ever debuff a water unit.
Yeah,
because it just glances every hit.
And he stunned my whole team twice.
Well, does your team have any water units?
Absolutely.
That's literally not possible.
Barbara would look like this the whole time.
That's literally impossible. That is actually like
go watch.
Game mechanically,
I'll try. I'll watch my VOD and I'll find it for you. I'll send it.
Watch.
To you.
It's like a one-off. Despair Oki, like a one-off.
I mean, that is possible. It is possible that it's.
No, it's possible.
But
it happens.
But that's also incorrect because even if
you're
Oki, it doesn't matter.
Anything is possible, bro. When you're me, any bad luck is possible.
Oh, Despair doesn't land with glancing? I thought Despair does lands regardless.
No. So Despair, if you multi-hit on a unit, the first non-glancing hit is the one that can proc Despair. Only the first non-glancing hit. And I have a video to prove that. Like,
So
we went through it a lot to figure out how glancing and Despair work.
How does it work with if it's a single target unit that glances? Like, because I think resistance.
If you glance, you can't land it.
Really?
If you glance, you can't land Despair. It's 100%. You cannot land Despair if you glance.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You also cannot land debuffs if you glance.
Okay, that one I knew. I didn't know Despair. I thought Despair was a special thing, right? Because Despair doesn't go through resistance.
Despair
check, right?
ignores resistance.
Right.
But
No resistance. Right. I see.
Revenge what?
Like if you glance, could it revenge?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Revenge is just if you take a hit, you have a chance to
glance. I'm gonna have to look into that because that one I want to know for sure. Yeah. The multi-hit thing I know.
You want me
I
to just
heard
send you
about
the
it.
video?
I sit there and
No,
test
we
it with
believe
Thompson.
you. Yeah.
Just
No,
make
I
sure
believe you.
it's
Yeah.
You're like
But-
encyclopedia.
Right, but these are
just
facts
ask you a
that
question,
we
what
should
the
know
answer is.
because this is actually facts that you want in your head. So when you play, you know because when you're doing RJ, these little things come up when you're playing. You're like, okay, that guy has glancing. I can't get Despair stun. I know that's a Despair unit, right? I ain't getting stunned. There's just no way, right? There's just no way.
That's correct.
So that's good to know. Interesting.
So the way Despair works is if Despair doesn't glance, you have a 25% chance on the first non-glancing hit. Only the first non-glancing hit.
New
Nice
phone
downloads, dude.
nightmare.
Oh, good luck.
New
The
phone
first
nightmare.
non-glancing hit has a 25% chance to proc Despair, and if it does, it ignores resistance. That's why Despair is good, is because it ignores resistance.
Yeah.
Right? If you multi-hit something and you glance, let's say you're using Juno, for example. If you hit a Chow, right? You hit a Chow. The first hit glances. The second hit glances. The third hit doesn't glance. You have a 25% chance to stun on that.
So as long as one of them doesn't glance, the first one that doesn't glance, it will roll the 25.
Yes.
Hey, quick side note: when did they change it? You can actually play a little bit while it's downloading.
Oh, that's new. And there's like a new boss in it.
The last
that's pretty
patch?
cool.
Last
Oh,
month. Yeah, there's a boss in there
like
too.
two-
That Jubego was like, oh, it's a new boss. Maybe actually. Who knows?
Was that 6th anniversary patch they did that?
Yeah, they did. It's kind of cool.
It's way better than the other thing.
Yeah. You know what I think
No,
better?
it's literally the first non-glancing hit, and I have proof of that.
Okay, I like that. I you know what? One thing would make the loading screen better if they had me on it. Counters, you know, if you listen it in, I like the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Please.
Debatable.
What? All right, put Y-Cuz up there then. All right, put Y-Cuz up there. Yeah, just have them like there. Hey, I bought all the bathrooms at the Comtours office. All right. Anyways, great podcast today, guys. I think we all went over a couple really, really good topics. Any last words? I know there was, you know, while Tyler's talking, anybody wanted to throw anything last?
Can I jump in about RTA for a sec?
Go ahead, because I know you're
I
trying.
missed out. I do apologize. My net did die.
Yeah, go ahead.
RTA for me has felt like a fight. Like it's felt like wine in the sense that, you know, with age it's gotten better this season. I felt like my playstyle itself, I was playing very similar to how I was last season, and I was kind of falling behind with how everyone was going with like Chiwu, Savannah, Gani Hathor. The Beast Riders make a big difference, and Chiwu into the comp as well. I felt like personally I started struggling a lot with like early on in the climb, and that was because there was a lot of Antares. I feel like Antares still works very, very well against me, and I still think he needs to be dumbed down a bit. But I think I still feel like there's a lot of balance in this meta, in the sense that yes, Wind is probably still a little bit on the stronger side compared to others, but there seems to be a lot more solid counter picks that you can pick to counter, well, you know, based on that. So like if you see a solid Wind unit, you can still go with Daphnis, and if you see a Mina pop up, there are still other units you can bring out there, like a Sierra to counter that. You can bring out an Ethna. There's still a lot of units that end up making that cyclical play. There's a lot more variety, which is making it a lot more fun as well. And yes, there's still the Gani Hathor issue, but I still feel like there's a lot more variety in this season. Definitely. I don't know.
Yeah, only thing I can say about Gani Hathor real quick. I used to pick Hathor first pick every game, and then like I noticed that I lose every game I do that. So like Hathor's become like a later pick.
That's because your Hathor is too slow.
Definitely.
Oh, sorry.
We know insider information. Yeah, I mean, I think this season is interesting. Even though Thompson, you're saying it's a little bit stale, I'm liking it because there are different units in there, right? A little bit different units than beginning of last year. So things are changing, right? Things, I mean, I don't know how I feel if there's a big meta shift instantly. So things are changing slowly, and we're going to see how it goes, especially with these Beast Riders and whatnot implemented. But I'll tell you one thing. You ask anybody who's having a good time in RTA, yeah, ask them, hey, are you enjoying RTAs? If they say, oh, it's not bad or it's pretty good, second question, ask them, have you summoned a Beast Rider? They'll probably say yes 100% of the time. Actually true, okay? Actually true. Just say
it's hard not to though. Like they're so good and it's crazy.
Yeah, they're fun too. They're fun. It's different, right? And it's different, but it actually works, right? It's like it's a different unit to use in your draft and a different unit to RTA with, and it actually is working and it's really strong. So I think that's why there's some excitement behind those people for sure. Yeah. But all right, some very good podcast topics today, boys and girls. I appreciate you guys taking the time to join in on me. If you guys are watching from the YouTube channel, like I said, those comment sections getting hot, man. Yeah, I honestly can say I've really been enjoying the comment section. Yeah, a lot of fun stuff. Keep things a little bit more civil, but you know, there's still some trolls and whatnot. It kind of makes for some fun reads through. So leave your comments down below on suggestions. I'm pretty sure somebody from Com2S probably goes through them, so it's a great way to kind of give them back some feedback on things and what we want changed in the future and what you want to see on the future podcast as well. We're going to put the link to all of their YouTube channels, or actually their Twitch channels, right? Some of them have YouTube, some of them are starting YouTube videos, but mostly their Twitch channels down below that you guys can visit. Everybody here does stream quite a bit more, especially during the quarantine. I think people have been motivated to stream a little bit more, do RTAs, and be a part of the community on Twitch. But all right, I'll see you guys on the next live stream or podcast. Peace out.
Thanks
YouTube.
for having us. Stay safe, everybody.
Guys.
Peace out, man. Thank you guys for joining.
Bye.